everyone, it is Wendy Ivy Martinez here, and I am a geek, and today we are going to be tier ranking short stories from Shiver by Junji Ito. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you guys do not know, Junji Ito is the master of Japanese horror. He writes terrifying mangas and stories that just can fuel your nightmares. He can take the most ordinary things like snails and spirals and turn them into something of your wildest nightmares. And Shiver is probably the most popular short story collection that he has released, at least in the US. And so today I wanted to tier rank every single story that is in here, from my favorite to ones that I think that the book didn't necessarily need. There are 9 stories in Shiver, so while we are tier ranking them, I will tell you what each story is about and my thoughts on them. So let's do this. So here we have my tier ranking list. So at the very top we have Horrifyingly Perfect. These are the stories that I think are pure perfection. They terrified me, or I just really enjoyed them, and I could read them time and time again, and I found literally no faults. There's nothing, not one single thing wrong with these stories. Next we got This Is a Disturbingly Great, a story that I really enjoyed a lot, but wasn't exactly perfection. Next we have Just Good. You know, I enjoyed it. I found some flaws to it, but it was still overall a good story. Next we got Uncomfortable but Not Memorable, aka It's Okay, or It's Alright. So here we are going to place the stories that I believe were uncomfortable but didn't really stand out to me, or that were just sort of okay, not exactly good, but not horrible where I just would never read them. I don't want to touch them, you know? And lastly, but certainly not least, we have I'd Rather Be Eaten by Fuchi Than Read This Again. Fuchi is one of the characters that Junji Ito writes about, and we will talk about her soon enough. So without further ado, and that's basically like terrible, I hate it. So yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first story that we have here, we're going to start off right off the bat with my favorite story in here. So the first story that we have here is The Hanging Balloons. I loved this story. This was hands down my favorite Junji Ito story in Shiver. It's probably my favorite Junji Ito short story that I've ever read in any of his books. This is basically about a town in Japan. It's a typical town, just like any other town. And then all of a sudden this girl, she ends up unaliving herself, or what they believe, they believe that she unalived herself. And then they say that they see her ghost at the park. And then her boyfriend ends up seeing the ghost at the park as well. Then her friend sees it, and then all of a sudden it's an average day at school when these balloons with their faces come down. And at the end of the balloon is a noose. The noose will take you and hang you. So you're basically hanging by this noose that's tied to a balloon that has your face on it. And you cannot pop the balloon, because if you pop the balloon, your face melts off too. So it's about these people that are just trying to survive these hanging balloons that have their faces on them. It was terrifying. It had me thinking. Till this day, I still think of this story and I'm like, oh my goodness, what would I do if I was in this situation? So this one is going to go under Horrifyingly Perfect, because it is. It's just that. It's horrifyingly perfect. The next story that we have is called Used Record. Now this one is about a record that plays this like eerie music, and then I guess when people pass away they end up singing the tune that's in this record. It's like this cursed record basically. This one was good. It was good, it was creepy, it was eerie, but I don't want to say it was like, oh my goodness, this is great, this is amazing. So I'm going to put it under just good. This is actually my oldest daughter's favorite story. So next we have our lovely and amazing Painter story, which features another very famous, iconic character that Junji Ito created named Tomie. So Painter is basically about this man, and he paints this girl. He paints this woman named Tomie. And Tomie is a succubus, and she can basically make any man fall in love with her. But when she does, they love her so much that they want to cut her up into pieces. However, whenever you cut her down or whenever you unalive her, every little part that you chop off of her turns into a full-grown Tomie. So for this one, I loved Tomie. I'm going to put this under, this is disturbingly great. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but I really enjoyed the Tomie story. I just read the whole full-length manga. Next, we have Shiver. So Shiver is one of my phobias, and that's what creeped me the heck out because I hate holes so much. Like this one, I can't look at it for too long because I just get like these like, ugh, like it just grosses me out. I cannot stand, I have holophobia. I forgot what it's called, trypophobia. I have trypophobia, whatever it's called. I have that. So this story is about trypophobia. So I cannot look at the picture for too long or I will start to get disgusted. I cannot stand it. So reading over this book, I had to consistently not look at the photos. Like I had to sometimes cover them occasionally because it disturbed me that much. But when it's supposed to disturb you. So I'm going to put this as disturbingly great because it was disturbingly great. I mean, it did its job. It terrified me because I have trypophobia. So if you have a phobia, trypophobia like me, this might do just that and just give you the heebie-jeebies. And yeah, the next story that we have here is Long Dream. So in A Long Dream, this is basically about a guy that gets sent to the psych ward because he says that every time he sleeps, it doesn't just feel like a night. Sometimes it feels like a year, and then it starts to feel like 5 years, and then 10 years. And they start to see that something is going on with his body. He's aging as if it really was the length of his dream. So he would be aging 10 years, 15 years. Even though it's just been one night technically, in his long dream, it's been a lot longer. And every single night, the dream world lasts longer and longer. And it's taking a toll on his physical body. So this one, I'm going to put, it was just good. It was just good. It was disturbing, for sure. I mean, all of Junji Ito's stories are disturbing. But it wasn't like, over the top, this is amazing, this is something that I really enjoy. It was just good. It was just good. Next, we have Marionette Mansion or House of Puppet. This is another one that really speaks to me. I love dolls. I love puppets. I love marionettes. They scare the bejeebas out of me, but you best believe if I could have this doll, Jean-Pierre, I would definitely have him because he's just, I love dolls. I love dolls. I love anything that's like creepy like that. I'm like, yes, I want it. Doll, creepy doll, yes. Creepy marionette, yes. Creepy, haunted, anything. I love this story. This is basically about a circus puppet. It's like a puppet show. It's a traveling puppet show, and there's this one specific puppet named Jean-Pierre that is very disturbing. And they find out that he has a lot of dark secrets. There's something wrong with Jean-Pierre. Let's just put it like that. And I love this story, okay? I love Jean-Pierre. I wish we had more stories with Jean-Pierre in it because he's just amazing. So I'm going to put it in Horrifyingly Perfect because I loved it. I loved it so much. Next, we have Greased. And this story is not so much scary as it is disgusting and like just gross. It's gross. It's grotesque. It's nasty. It's like, like you want to throw up sort of gross. Not like a this sends chills down my spine, but like I'm going to vomit sort of way. And it is about these people that like drink grease and their house is grease, and like just thinking about it, I'm just like, you know, like thinking about, it's gross. It's gross. So I'm gonna put this as in, it really messed me up. You know, it wasn't an enjoyable story because it was so disgusting, but it was enjoyable in the sense that you're disgusted the whole time. Do you get what I mean? So I'm going to put this as in disturbingly great. I don't want to say it was perfect because I wish I would have enjoyed it more, but it did its job. It was there to gross you out, and it did just that. Next, we have My Dear Ancestors, or I think the story in the actual thing is called Honored Ancestors or Honorable Ancestors, something like that. And it's about this, I believe it's a guy, I believe it's a man, and he sees this thing, and I guess like all his ancestors are attached by like the forehead, and they want to attach him to the forehead too once his life is over. And it's disturbing, but it's not like memorable. It's not something that's like, this is great. So I'm going to put this as uncomfortable, but not memorable. AKA, it's okay. It was like, all right. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't disturbing to the point where I was like, ew, ew, ew. It wasn't scary. It was okay. Next, we have Fashion Model. And this one features Fuchi. So this story is about this fashion model that is in a magazine, and this guy is looking through this magazine and he sees this fashion model, and this fashion model is downright terrifying and disturbing. And he is like, why is this woman a fashion model? She's not beautiful, she's not pretty, she's terrifying, she's ugly, she's horrific, she's horrendous, like I don't want to look at her, she's scary. And then he goes to sleep and he cannot get this woman out of his mind. Now, he is an independent filmmaker, and him and his friends want to make this story, or this like, whatever, this story. And his friends end up casting this model named Fuchi in the story. And they're like sitting down together and they're like, hey, calm down, you're overthinking it. It was just, you know, you're just freaking out. It's just a normal model. She's just disturbingly tall. But then she's like sitting beside him, and then she opens her mouth to eat or laugh or something like that, and her teeth are like razor sharp. And he's like, all right, I'm done. You guys are tripping. I don't know, like, so they start arguing in the woods, and things just go downhill from there. I loved it. Okay, I loved it. This Fuchi is my favorite Junji Ito character. Personally, I love her. If she had an entire book, just her stories, hands down, that would probably be my favorite Junji Ito book, because I love Fuchi. I heart Fuchi. Okay? She's amazing. And then we were blessed in Shiver to have a bonus story featuring Fuchi, and it is called Fashion Model Cursed or something like that. Cursed Fashion Model, something like that. So this one is about Fuchi seeing another girl get the role that she wanted, and Fuchi's very jealous. So if somebody else gets something that she wants, especially another pretty girl, she's like, no, I'm the pretty one, I want it, and she will off that person, like hands down. Like she's gonna eat you. She eats people, and especially if you're pretty. If you are pretty, beware of Fuchi. It was so good. Again, horrifyingly perfect. I love Fuchi. Anything with Fuchi in it is gonna be perfect for me. Pure perfection. Like, Fuchi can do no wrong. I say that. That's a horrible thing to say. What is wrong with me? But I love Fuchi, okay? I love Fuchi. I will read anything with Fuchi in it. That is all the stories that are in Shiver. As you can see, I have nothing in I'd rather be eaten by Fuchi than read this again, because I would rather not be eaten by Fuchi, but also because Junji Ito does a really good job at creating stories, so I don't feel that way. So anyways, you guys, that is it. That is tier ranking Shiver. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope this made you want to pick up the book if you haven't picked it up, because yeah. And then let me know if you guys have read Shiver. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What were your favorite stories? Which stories did you not exactly enjoy? And why? Let me know down in the comments below. And last but certainly not least, yeah, let me know if you want me to do another video like this, because I'm obsessed with Junji Ito, okay? I've read most of his work, so if you want me to do another one for any of his other short story collections, or even like the actual, like, I guess, are they called manga novels? I don't know what the technical term is, you know, but like Tomie and Uzumaki and No Longer Human, you know, things like that, where it's like a complete collection story. It's like an actual book story, manga story. You know what I mean? Let me know down in the comments below. Check out my Goodreads. If you guys have a Goodreads, I would love to be friends with you, and I would love to see what you guys are reading, so follow my Goodreads down below, have my Amazon wishlist down below, and also my Booktok. So yes, now officially, bye.